Yes. Yeah. Table for 12 at Wheelhouse. Bottle service. That's Jackson's weekend, not mine. I'm a family man with a family plan. But before I begin my weekend, I want this one badly again. Is that 3 or 4 straight days in which I've wanted it badly? 3 straight days I want it badly here on Balloon Party 101 ESPN. It's driven by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton, Toyota. Get involved because we're giving away Bud Bash tickets. Or are we not?
We are.
I don't know.
We are.
Yes. 314-399-9646. They are in the YouTube chat. I'd like to give them to somebody in the YouTube chat, but Jackson won't let me.
That's a nice way of framing it. Yeah, that's right. Got to text it in.
Callus coitus is the first post I see in the YouTube chat over Jackson's shoulder. It's Friday. Tim's looking cute. Jackson isn't acting like a new intern. Life is good, baby. That's Callus coitus. How about that, Jackson?
Yeah, I thought I brought my laptop in here. Apparently I didn't. So.
This is the second straight day you have not brought something in, and then the Midnight Rider has to go down to the HD2 studios.
Nah, it's not like my adapter where if I don't have that, I can't hear the show.
I'm just going to work on my shoulder turn through the whole. Look at this shoulder turn. How does he generate so much club head speed? He weighs $155. Well, it starts with this shoulder turn.
Is that what you weighed in at this morning? 155.
152.8 actually.
Jeez. Yeah.
I don't know. It's a mess. I mean, you don't want to weigh 152 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, there'd be worse things.
Anyway wants to weigh 152 pounds.
Yeah, there's the alternative. If
I guess, yeah. If you look at it that way,
that'd be $152.
Yeah. All right, fine. All right, Jackson. What do we got? We got a Little Piddles Friday 6-shooter. We're giving away Bud Bash tickets. Battlehawks playoff game.
Yeah.
City taking on Portland. Cardinals and Rockies. Celtics won, Panthers, Oilers. I mean, what we got is too much.
Yeah.
How do we whittle it down?
Well, luckily on the Friday 6-shooter, all of those things you just talked about will be covered.
What?
I don't have a Battlehawks question, but I can freestyle something. But yeah, we got all that stuff, and let's just get started. Why not?
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Why not?
Tiny question says he's guessing we start with the Celtics.
No. This is for the people. If it was for me,
if this was the Jackson Burkett podcast, it'd be like Bill Simmons.
It would exclusively be about hoops, but it's okay.
I guarantee you, Bill Simmons is talking about the Cardinals and Rockies on his show.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what he's talking about. I'm sure. Him and Rosillo.
Shoulder turn. I don't know. It's a shoulder turn, but then the left hip. It's just watch it open. Look at that. And then because I'm so tiny, I have to use the ground for my power. So you're going to see that the whole show if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah, you are crafty though.
Yeah, I'm very crafty.
All right, let's get underway here.
Question 1.
Not the result you wanted last night as the Cardinals dropped the first of 4 to the lowly Rockies. Sonny Gray with another tough outing as his last month has looked much different from his first month.
What are some numbers on that last month?
His ERA's up in in the month of June, his ERA's in the 6s.
How many starts did he had in June? 2?
11 starts over the year. In the 4 losses he has, his ERA is dreadful. It's really bad. His ERA plus, is still highest of all the starters. So, in the large sample size, it's not been a bad year. He's been great, really. But the last couple, he's not been great. He's not been great by any stretch of the imagination. No decisions. Win or loss for Sonny Gray. Some loud outs in the 7th gave fans a little hope. However, the Cardinals remained dreadful with
This is one of those times we were running through the question.
I couldn't find my spot, and so I
started ad-libbing? Wow, you were ad-libbing speedily. Interesting.
No. Sometimes when I lose my spot in the question, I have to kind of mumble through to get there, and that's something I'm working on.
I didn't pick up on that.
I'm young. Some loud outs in the 7th gave a little hope. However, the Cardinals remain dreadful with runners in scoring position. My question is, how would you quantify your entertainment value when watching this team compared to teams over the last 15 years or so? Do you think it is baseball that has changed more, or the Cardinals?
Wow, we went from just kind of isolating in on the Cardinals and Rockies to a commentary on baseball in the last 15 years. But I better buckle up for this 6-shooter today.
I came for keeps.
Somebody called into TMA today, Biff, and I think it's spelled with 1 F, but I've also been told 2. And he goes, I don't know, something along the lines of my thoughts on the likelihood of the Cardinals winning the division. I'm just like, I don't really, I guess I like them at plus 700.
Yeah.
But if you're just saying you got to take a team, they're ways back. And I guess what I'm saying is it's a weird spot. I saw Benjamin Hochman write this column, I think it was yesterday, it might have been 2 days ago. Like, are the Cardinals good? Are they bad? Do people care?
Right.
Are people polling for them? Mm-hmm. It's a really odd time in Cardinal baseball history, because I do think that there are people who would consider themselves Cardinal. If I talked about this when Josh Ennis was in last week, I think there are people who are truly Cardinal fans who want to see the team lose this year because they believe that is the only way that there will be material change to the business model that has, I think, in some fans' eyes, become mediocrity. Let's just get in. And at the same time, when you look at the Cardinals' 2 World Championships, which were kind of just get-ins, and the last 2 National League pennant winners in the new playoff format, both being the 6 seeds, in a way, I understand it. But your favorite teams over the course of your baseball fandom probably are going to be teams that gave you excitement and visions of a world championship, not once the calendar flipped to October, nay, April through September, because they were entertaining and you could tell they were super talented. Respectfully, I say to this team, they don't check either one of those boxes. And so you have to kind of do this dance, if you're in my position, where you have to avoid overreacting to a win or a loss or a few games of wins or losses, and just observe that which you think it is. Could be wrong. Hell, I don't know. I just don't see this at this moment with the roster as it currently is as being a high ceiling team. I also don't think it's a low floor team. So as weird as it might have been, I was talking with Rizzuto, the Riz Show. Wonderful program, Jackson. I think it's the most successful show in St. Louis.
They're great, all of them.
And they're good people too, you're right. And we were BSing, I don't know, maybe a month ago actually at this point. And he goes, are the Cardinals this bad? And I go, no, I don't think so. And if I were like buying stock in them, I would actually, or buying or selling, I would buy stock in them. Not because I think they're about to take off. I just don't think they're as bad as they are. At the same time, when they went on that run, swept the Orioles, one of the best teams in baseball, and also limited that Orioles offense. I mean, that was really the bigger story. Wins are huge, don't get me wrong, but they limited the Orioles offense. I know it was a weird series with the delays and so on, but either way, they did. I'm like, I think that was more in the category of an outlier. Yeah. Similar to Sonny Gray not looking real good and the Cardinals losing to the Rockies. Now, Cardinals get swept by the Rockies. Oh, yeah. Holy crap. Yeah. But I'd be very, obviously, I think any of us would be, the Rockies would be probably the most surprised.
The Rockies have been swept 4 times already this year.
It's just an operation. Yeah. There are some real operations in Major League Baseball. Yeah, it's like Vanderbilt's an operation in SEC football, but at least you're going to Vanderbilt.
Right.
I don't know what you're getting when you're like playing for the Pirates or the Rockies. Outside of the incredible amounts of money. So with that all established, my entertainment value on the Cardinals and baseball, which was your question, is tied to this year seeing guys like Wynn move up and the trajectory he's moving up. That's super encouraging and exciting.
Yeah, another
as young
great
as
game
he
last
is.
night, yeah.
Another one last night. Nolan Gorman over the last whatever stretch of games it's been. That's exciting. Burleson is, I don't know if I'd call it exciting, but it's encouraging.
It's definitely.
Well, I feel like I'm leaving out another one from the young player category.
Herrera, kind of.
I don't know on that because, if they didn't have a catcher that they were financially obligated to, then that's a different conversation. But they are with Contreras. So that's where I am on this. I'm on the Doug Armstrong going into the 2023-2024 hockey season. Hey, this is kind of what they are. And, hey, if we get into the playoffs, anything can happen. That's absolutely the case. But I just don't see it as a team where I'm going, man, this is pretty exciting. What concerns me is actually not that which is on the field in the rotation in St. Louis. What concerns me is I don't see a lot that's going to be a solution from a pitching standpoint for the organization in the near future, which then worries me that even if these position players continue to develop who are younger, well, how are they going to get people out in the coming years when these guys, rise to the prime time of their careers? In addition to running parallel with what I think could be a financial situation for the organization with the television situation. So even if they would have beaten the Rockies last night 10-0, I wouldn't have come in here and gone, oh, well, look at this. Just like they lose to the Rockies last night 3-2, and I don't go, oh boy, this team sucks. It's more of a macro standpoint. Now, I don't know if that stimulates you as an individual in the audience or not. But Jackson, you know what you call this show? Yuppie and the douchebag. You know what else you call this show? Honesty and media.
Yeah,
and that's my honest perspective on it. So because they are in the spot that they're in, this was kind of I don't even know if I'd call it a transition year. It's just kind of a purgatory.
Rolling in neutral.
Yeah.
You talked about young pitching. Someone I've talked about a lot is Sam Robersa. He pitched 37 pitches last night. He got 1 out, gave up 6 earned runs, 1/3 of an inning. That was last night.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, so tough. Yeah, it's tough. The entertainment factor is just kind of down the drain. I mean, I watch every night, obviously.
Oh, so you feel this way now, and you're trying to be a rights holder too. So this is a kind of a change. This is more breaking news from you.
It's the runners in scoring position thing, man. Like, it's just like so frustrating when you get guys on and you just can't do anything. I mean, last night Siani had the broken bat single to drive in a run. It's just and they're getting some homers recently, but they're all solo and maybe 2-run homers. Like, they don't have the grand slam 3-run homer, big turnarounds. It's just not there. I mean, it is just tough to watch in some cases where you get runners on 2 on, 1 out. It's all right, and then it's nothing. It sucks. And you're right. When you look at the future of it, it's like Lynn and Gibson have team options. By the day, it seems more and more likely that they're going to take the team option, because who else are they going to bring up next year? And now you're paying, again, $20 million. Imagine if you could pay 2 guys pre-arbitration, maybe altogether $2 million. $18 million you have just freed up right there. That's a first baseman to replace Goldie. That's another outfielder that you could finally have some promise in the outfield. Like, that is what's going to hamstring this team for the next couple of years if they can't develop young pitching.
Also along the line, again, talking about something that's not in St. Louis, is Jordan Walker. Jordan Walker bobblehead theme night.
Last night, yeah.
And I thought, my God, I would have lost a lot of cash, because I'm like, oh, they'll have to call him up for the bobblehead night. And then it's kind of like, oh, we're having it. But don't forget, there's another Walker bobblehead this weekend with Larry Walker. We're just going to forget about it, because we got the awkward spot of having this bobblehead night, except he, who was, 14 months ago, the prized possession of the organization, is in Memphis and has been there now for a good long while, and is not necessarily crushing it in Memphis. So if you look at 2020, going into that spring training before the pandemic, Dylan Carlson was the prized possession of the organization. That has not trended in a positive direction since then. And now you've got another prized possession of the organization, and that at the moment is not trending in a real good direction. So that's concerning, along with the pitching situation, along with the television situation. Yeah. So that's why, okay, they win last night, they lose last night. You ask me a macro question like Cardinals entertainment and what enthuses me over the last 15 years. That's why I have to give you a more big picture answer. Your thoughts, 314-399-9646, Air Comfort Service text line. You're also welcome to participate in the YouTube chat. They are very active in there. Josh Stevens is in there saying, talk more about The Big Chill. Jackson, are you interested in talking about The Big Chill? Film's about 42 years old. Tom Berenger, University of Missouri, Alpha Tau Omega. Kevin Kline, Priory Zone. Priory's a school you would talk to students from, right?
Yeah, generally.
Yeah.
I'd say so. I love The Big Chill. I wish they made more movies where really famous actors just got together and hung out.
What if they did a Big Chill Part 2?
Oh, that'd be great. There's but it's got to be like with like mid-30s, late 30s actors, like it was in in Big Chill in '83. Like, it has to be of a generation. So. And
what, they just wound up listening to music in a remote location during a funeral and started sleeping with each other?
Yeah, basically. Nice. That's kind of the plot of the movie, and there's great music and great records throughout. A little Michigan football in there, and it's great. It's lovely.
Go Big Blue. All right. Jackson is working on a remake of The Big Chill.
Yeah.
I am working on the Little Piddles Friday six-shooter here on Balloon Party, driven by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota on 101 ESPN and the 101 ESPN YouTube channel. Welcome back to Balloon Party, 101 ESPN. My name's Tim McKernan. That's Jackson Burkett. Jackson's complaining about the temperature in the studio again. I just want a positive work environment.
Right.
At this point in my career, listen, I mean, let's be honest here. I'm going into the Hall of Fame. It's already over. It's over. But I want at this point, I just want positivity. And it's just a lot of complaining about the 101 ESPN thermostat. That's what it is. I don't like it. I'm uncomfortable with it.
Okay, I guess I'll delete that email I had scheduled to send to you at 4:30 this afternoon.
It was going to me about the thermostat.
Yeah, I was just going to complain and then CC you in it and say, like, I don't know whether this is about my host, but he's gaslighting me into telling me it's not hot in here.
I like that. Anytime you can go third person while the person's in the communication.
And I'll send that 4:45. 4:45
on
p.m.
a Friday.
Yeah, today, 4:45 p.m.
Jackson, we've already done one question on this Little Piddles Friday six-shooter here on Balloon Party, which is, of course, driven by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton, Toyota. But we're giving away Bud Bash tickets. We've gotten some wonderful texts this week.
Yeah, just know numbers have been posted.
Yeah, a low number has been posted, and it's going to be tough to chase it down, but maybe you can. You're giving away Bud Bash tickets here for Tuesday's Cardinals-Pirates game, and you can check out your Bud Bash festivities at cardinals.com/promotions. Text in 314-399-9646 to see if your text is selected by Jackson to win the Bud Bash tickets. And even better ones are still coming in now. Jackson's thrilled.
No, the person who posted the low number for today, I guess I missed their text yesterday, but they posted this low number yesterday,
right?
too.
Really nice, They play well at the Memorial. Jackson, what's question number 2?
Question 3.
That was a slip. I slipped my
positivity in the studio, and I want
the heel. I have big hands.
Production.
Big hands, Paul basketball. I got big hand, and the heel of my hand hit the mouse. It's a sensitive mouse, to be honest with you. All right.
Bradford seems positive. Is he available from 10 to 11?
All right, this show isn't live, right? All right, let's run it again. 3, 2, 1.
Question 2.
Compare and contrast the growth/decline of the NHL and Major League Baseball. I ask this because I see one entity as a rising stock in the NHL and a declining stock in the Major League Baseball. However, what binds them together is their struggle to market their uber-talented young stars. What has the NHL done to grow and increase in popularity, and what has Major League Baseball done to begin its descent? Which do you think is on the quicker journey to their inevitable destination? And if you were in charge of both, was one move you would make in the case of the NHL to speed up their growth and for the MLB to stop the bleeding?
I have to ask this question, and perhaps one of our wonderful listeners can present some form of data. I'm not sure that the premise on which these questions were asked is accurate. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just not sure of it. In other words, you're saying that the NHL is growing, but you're also saying Major League Baseball is not. And I didn't know that that was the case.
Not growing?
Yeah.
Oh, I think Major League Baseball, the World Series numbers from the last couple of years, a little bit down. I mean, a lot of sport, the TV viewership thing is all over the place. But I think when you're looking at Major League Baseball and their TV situation, like the NBA and the NFL do media rights deals, they're not worried about what's going to happen on the other end.
The NFL and NBA.
They're not worried about
I agree with that, but you cited the NHL as growing.
Right. And I think because of where it started from, it's going to be hard. And I don't want to make this sound like Mr. Anti-Hockey for a second here. I'm being, very genuine. It started as a very small niche thing and has grown in popularity over the past 30 years. So I think in that sense, it is growing both in people playing it and watching it. This is a sense. Listen, I probably should have had some more hard data on it, but this is just a sense. And if there's a hard data to prove me the other way, then I will withdraw the question.
Okay, well, that's why if I were to answer a question, if I don't necessarily believe the premise of the question is accurate, then I would just be, you see what I'm saying?
No, I get that.
From, we talk about this kind of thing off the air. I'm honestly not busting balls either. I'm just going, I'm not sure that that's accurate. I think locally, if you want to look at it through a St. Louis perspective.
Maybe I'm stuck in that vacuum.
Then, certainly there are a large number of kids playing hockey. I actually think if you were to look at the family tree of the growth of the playing of hockey, you actually could trace it to the late 80s in Brett Hall. Mm-hmm. And then certainly with the number of Blues alumni who live in the community and play a role in whether it be coaching, what Jamie Rivers does with his clinics, and then also there'll be young kids in my son's range of age who 2019 will be something they'll look back on in, 2089 is still one of the greatest moments of their lives.
Yeah.
When the Blues won the Stanley Cup and they were, a handful of years old. So I think that pours gasoline on that fire locally. But I don't know if nationally baseball is necessarily dying. I know I'm disappointed with some things with baseball. But, hey, they might be success. I mean, I would imagine, actually, like the thing that I always piss and moan about, but I really feel strongly about is, of course, the playoff format. You play 162 games, and now you got 12 teams in the playoffs, and there's no real way to reward the teams that had the best regular season. When you're playing 162 games, that strikes me as just ridiculous. But I would gather that if you polled sports fans, then if you wanted to narrow it down to hardcore baseball fans, my guess is they probably like the expanded postseason format.
Keeps their team in longer, that's for sure. Yeah.
So just because I don't like something, I recognize that my opinion might not be the popular one. I'm not going to change it to try to, use my hand on the people to ingratiate myself to them, but that's what I think. So I don't know if that's necessarily. I think even the hardest hardcore baseball fan would acknowledge the NFL's more popular. I think they might have a tougher time locally acknowledging the NBA's success, as it seems, if we're looking at it through the St. Louis vision. But I think nationally, it's pretty clear that it's NFL and NBA.
Right.
But locally, I think some people might go, "There's no way the NBA is more popular." And
that would be.
But I mean, that's not up for debate.
No.
But I'm not sure that means baseball is declining in popularity nationally.
Fair enough.
You see what I'm saying?
Fair enough. I think what we both can agree on is that while the NFL and NBA are at the top, certainly a big gap between NBA and NFL. The NFL is at a different level, but they both have a very good ability to market stars, and the MLB and NHL do not. And I think when you see the differences, viewership, money involved in the four sports, I think what you could attribute it to is that young stars, man. It's the young stars and marketing them. I mean, you have a ton of great young stars in both Major League Baseball and the NHL.
Okay, so here is, and I'm not saying this is the reason, but it is certainly a reason. In both football and basketball, you have the ability to start to familiarize yourself with these players in college.
Sure.
Obviously, college basketball not as long. College football is a shorter amount of time than it used to be, but at least you have a chance to familiarize yourself. A Heisman Trophy winner goes first this year and is going to be playing for the Chicago Bears. You have the opportunity to go, man, I can't wait to see where this guy, and I watched him play in college. I watched him compete for a national championship. How many people are watching the College World Series? I mean, I know some people are, but for the most part, it is way back from both college football, obviously, and college basketball. Same thing with hockey. And so I think that it plays a role in it because oftentimes star power is not necessarily based on the player's greatness so much as it by the recognizability, whether it be from something that's personality related or just familiarity. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I agree with that. I think there's something to it. I'm not dismissing it, but I don't know. Like right now, who is baseball, in your opinion, if you do feel this way, failing to market?
Who is the MLB? I think Juan Soto is a guy who plays for the Yankees, obviously has a ton of personality, obviously an incredible baseball player. And I think way more people should know about Juan Soto and what he's doing in New York. I mean, he is ripping it, and he's a ton of fun to watch. I think Juan Soto is a great example of someone. I mean,
see, Aaron Judge to me would be... I like he doesn't get. I mean, he just had one of the greatest months ever,
and he hits.
And he's playing for the Yankees, and he has. Well, however you view the home run record, either way, he had a nice time with home runs a couple years ago.
Plus.
So, that, and I don't know. I mean, I don't think that the baseball offices, they're not aware of that. I think it just kind of speaks to the issue with it when you have so many games and it's so regionalized in its popularity that it has a tough time with it. And I think really the core issue actually, so if you were to tell me baseball is not picking up interest with younger people and take hockey out of it and take NFL out of it and take NBA out of it, I would then tell you that my opinion, and this is not rooted in anything, I have a feeling I'd be able to pull some kind of study on this, that the pace of baseball is counter to the pace in which younger people are used to receiving some form of gratification, dopamine hit, whatever you want to take. Stimuli, perfect, Latin and wonderful. That it doesn't match up with the pace of American culture for young people in 2024.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's necessarily fixable. there is instant gratification. And I'm not necessarily complaining about it either. I'm just observing that whereas for me, growing up, I loved it. I preferred it. Like, my dream was to be a play-by-play guy for the Cardinals. It's all I wanted to do. And I'm just like, oh, I would just love to sit there and BS and talk Cardinal baseball for 3 hours or whatever it would be. And I don't know if that's necessarily the way it would be for a lot of kids who are teenagers right now. Like, that would be the goal. I would think it would probably have something more to do with, if they're in St. Louis, hockey or soccer. And if it's national, it would probably be football or basketball or hockey or soccer. And my theory on that is, if you can open up your phone and have immediate instant gratification by take your pick of an Instagram reel or TikTok, and, oh, I don't like that, within 2 seconds, you've already swiped to the next thing.
Yep.
Sitting there watching Sonny Gray shake off Herrera probably isn't what's going to really fire you up on a Thursday night game against a bunch of anonymous people called the Colorado Rockies.
Yep. Yeah, that was my ultimate conclusion, was what you brought up about the pace. And if you're trying to appeal to a younger crowd, it's just not the case. Baseball is such a sport that rewards repeat viewing. The more you watch, the more enjoyment you get out of it, because you build relationships with, or you build mental relationships essentially with players, pitchers, whatever it might be. And the more and more you watch, the more and more you understand about the team. That is not necessarily how younger people like to consume culture. It's much more drop me into a game and I don't have to know what happened the past 3 weeks to know what's going on. You know, it's kind of like a TV show where you have to watch the first 3 seasons before you get in there. Not like Fargo, where you could just start a new season.
And all the while this is going on, we haven't even mentioned the lack of accessibility of baseball for a lot of people.
Right, especially younger people without cable.
That's a self-inflicted wound.
Yes.
And that's a disaster. But then at the same time, if I'm a team, I'm going, well, I want to run this contract as long as I can, because as soon as we do another deal with whatever the solution, quote unquote, is, we're not going to make as much money. So I understand it. I don't think there's evil involved here. You just have a slow adaptation to change. That's the issue. And the television provider miscalculating in a major way the market for its product and then just absolutely botching their app. I mean, my God, that's an all-timer with that thing. All right, we'll take a commercial break. Bottom of the hour here on Balloon Party. It's 101 ESPN. Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota is the presenting sponsor of Balloon Party on 101 ESPN, the official automotive provider of TMA and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. So I have quite a relationship with the good people at Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota. And I would like to make sure that you give them an opportunity to earn your business as well. If you do, I have a feeling you're going to wind up doing business with them. I've gotten to know Jamie Burkhardt here over the last few years. His name's on the dealership in Alton, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota, and he just couldn't be a finer person to work with, along with the staff at both Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota. Plus, they have a deal for the audience. It's a TMA loyal listener discount, but we're going to bring it to Balloon Party. No money down, $589 a month. And you can have a 2024 Acura MDX premium 48-month lease. That is what's going on right now with Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota. Go online at stlouisacura.com or altontoyota.com.
This is Action Jackson with a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals lose last night. Final score of 3-2 to the Colorado Rockies. They will take on the Rockies again tonight. 7:15 is the first pitch. Lance Lynn on the mound for the Cardinals. Also last night, Game 1 of the NBA Finals. The Celtics take Game 1 at home, 107-89. Jaylen Brown with 22 points. That was another Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Welcome back. Balloon Party 101 ESPN, driven by Mung & S, St. Louis Acura. Mung & S Burkhardt, Alton Toyota, stlouisacura.com, altontoyota.com. My name is Timothy Michael McKernan. That's Jackson Bennett Burkett. And Jackson has questions on Fridays that he calls the Friday Six Shooter. Ladies and gentlemen, I produce to you Piddles.
Well, get ready, folks.
Oh, what do we got?
Question 3.
If they didn't hate me before, they're going to hate me now.
Oh, you pulling for the Brahmas?
Celtics and Mavs last night was a team basketball masterclass by the C's, and it was evident that the game plan of Joe Mazzulla outpaced Jason Kidd in his first finals as a coach. Based on what you saw last night, and based on the talent of their two stars, do you think the Mavs will mount a charge in this series?
Yes.
Or was last night evident of a clear talent gap for the Green and White?
This stuff happens. You know it happens, too.
Oh, yeah. I don't think this is going to be quick work by any means.
I think the Cardinals lost Game 1 of the World Series to the Brewers like 12-0 or something like that in '82. I mean, it just happens.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Yep. Kristaps
What do you
back.
think, though? I mean, you're the official NBA correspondent of the Fast Lane, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for the Mavs. You're preparing, you're watching all this film over the last two series. No Kristaps Porzingis in any of those games. He comes back. He's a major factor. He had 20 last night. And the biggest thing for the Mavs is, I mean, you're not going to win basketball games getting 9 assists. They average around 23 assists a game. They got 9 last night. That simply won't do. Luka had 1. So you can look at his 30 points. Great. But you can't have that with 1 assist. It's just never going to work. So avoid ISO ball if you're the Mavs. Start working the ball over. You got the lobs, but great rim protection last night all around for the Celtics, including Jaylen Brown. He was outstanding last night. So for the Celtics, you keep going exactly how you're doing. Keep shooting the rock from deep, and on defense, do exactly what you're doing. Keep Luka confused. And if you're the Mavericks, you're going to need to pass the ball a lot more. They are the best corner shooting 3 team in the playoffs this year, and they made 1 last night. So that just won't fly.
Jackson's official analysis has been booked.
Yeah.
So now you're going Celtics in 5.
No, still in 6.
Okay.
Still in 6, because I think they're going to, I mean, the talent between Kyrie and Luka is incredible. They are outstanding players. They will not, and they have good supporting cast but it's dependent on those two moving the rock, and they were not last night. That was tough to watch at some points. But what are you going to do?
Well, you're going to try to bounce back in Game 2.
Yeah. Who do you like in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup final?
I have to acknowledge I'm biased to want to see the Oil win. Mm-hmm. So that's where I am.
Plus money on the Oil right now.
I know, but I'm not going to wager on it. I really want to see him win.
Yeah.
Now, fiduciary responsibility. I mean, one that can determine generational wealth. And I know you already have it. But for those of us who are more kind of meat and potatoes, hard workers.
Yeah, right.
We have a responsibility to take all of our assets, liquidate them.
Sure.
And then put them on the Battlehawks money line on Sunday.
Couldn't agree more.
That is where I have a more strong sense. I have an emotional attachment to wanting to see the Oil win.
Yeah.
But I have a financial responsibility to double the bankroll on Sunday with the Battlehawks beating the Brahmas.
Right. Like we've talked about before, the upside of releasing plays on radio. There is no upside, and the downside is infinite. Mm-hmm. But on this one, when you look at just the logistics of the Battlehawks, the UFL championship will be played in St. Louis. The Battlehawks, they play in St. Louis.
They do.
If they were to go to the championship, you could have upwards of 50,000 people there. Who knows? Sky's the limit, literally.
Father's Day, 5 p.m. kickoff. Hello, friends.
Certainly, you'll have 30,000 plus at the very least. I would say way more than that. And if
I'd set the over-under at 46,500, 1.5.
I'd take the under on that, but over on 42.
Man, you hate the St. Louis football fan.
I bet a lot of money on them for this weekend because if they were to lose that game, UFL championship is still in St. Louis.
The over-under becomes 4,601.5.
I'm shipping the under all day on that. So if it's a league which is, wouldn't necessarily say, is solvent the right word I'm looking for here? Liquid, solvent?
You're just saying words, I know.
Damp. The cash maybe is dependent on product day by day. You would much rather have fans in the stands and, yes, clapping their hands.
Ring the crowd. So are you suggesting that the league wants to see the Battlehawks win on Sunday when they take on the Brahmas?
Yes, I think the league wants to see them win. I'm not saying that they're going to do anything nefarious to make that happen. I'm not. I'm just saying, I just laid out to you what is public information.
Therefore, we liquidate assets and then we go wagering and put it all on the money line of the Battlehawks on Sunday.
If there was a time to empty the bank account, sort of say, back up a Brinks truck, I just feel like this is the time.
This is the time.
This is the time. And again, I'm just laying out the case that
it's a hell of a case
from the UFL office
Ryan
standpoint.
Crawford says, "Oh, that's perfect."
I thought that was like a ESPN panelist or something that was saying.
No, they're talking about the Boston 3 party right now.
Oh, Kristaps, Jalen, and JT.
That's right.
Boy, they were hooping last night. The defense, the way they rotate, Drew Holiday is really underrated, like for real. People should, in all seriousness, people should look up Drew Holiday in his last 5 or 6 years.
Do it!
Super inspiring story about him and his wife. Really highly recommend. He is world class. A world class human and an unbelievable defender. Holy mackerel, can he defend?
Back to the Battlehawks.
They call him the Druth, and I like that.
You say, I need to liquidate my assets and put it all in the middle on the Battlehawks money line.
Yeah, dampen your pockets.
Minus 150, is that the money line?
150, yeah, it depends on where you're looking, but yeah, it's definitely they're favored, but it's like anywhere from minus 140 to minus 155.
Okay.
Either way,
That's what I got to do.
When you're putting together stacks of cash, you're reaping all you sow, baby.
That's it. The Battlehawks shipped this thing. Are you worried about AJ McKerran's ankle?
I'm not. This is independent of any analysis between the numbers here.
This is usually an analysis-heavy show.
Yeah, did you just hear what I talked about with Kristaps and the Mavs?
Boston 3 party.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You're hunting matchups. Go after them.
So this is our time.
Yeah.
After all these years, this is our time to double our bankroll.
Yeah, I don't. After that, once they get to the championship, I have no idea, but I feel like they're going to get to the championship.
They're going to get to the championship.
I have a feeling that they might.
Okay.
And such a strong feeling.
Might now if I go home and I tell my wife, hey, we might have to stay at your parents' house because I've just given up the house to bet on the Battlehawks. I don't know how understanding she's going to be. And she's going, well, why'd you do that? And I said, well, Jackson thought they might win. Disclaimer.
I'm not saying you need to go do this. I'm not saying anything. Anytime you're doing any gambling, there is an element of risk. Absolutely. And you should know that going into it. 1-800-GAMBLER if you have any issues.
Nice.
But I'm saying wisely, always bet wisely. This is something that I feel strongly about. Okay. But I'm not saying you should do it.
Is this a 5-star play?
I'm not.
How many stars?
This isn't it's not a play.
It's not a play?
No, I didn't. I just laid out a case and told you what I would be doing. I just laid out a case.
God, this was like if Tom Cruise apologized to Colonel Jessup at the end of the cross-examination. So passionate, and then just kind of withdrew.
I wish Aaron Sorkin wrote my life.
Wow, that was a nice take.
I'd be a lot snappier.
You wouldn't have those moments where I look over at you and you're clearly somewhere else?
No. But somehow I'd probably have a bad relationship with my dad, so I'll take what I have now.
You can give your thoughts. Are you liquidating assets to put them in the middle for the Battlehawks money line on Sunday? Joining me and Jackson? I mean, we could be broke at 9:30 on Sunday night.
Could.
Or we could have twice as much as we had before that ball went in the air. Wow. What a moment. 3.5 hours to glory.
Yep.
This is our time.
Down there.
It's their time.
Up here.
It's our time. All right, fair enough. This is the Goonies and Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. Jackson, we have 4 minutes. That's 240 seconds to you and me, Russ.
Should we maximize them?
It's time to optimize them.
Ooh, I like that word even better.
Yep. What you gonna do?
Well, first optimize by announcing our winner for the
nice.
Bud Bash tickets. I'll do that presently. I would rather have my prostate checked every day than listen to Piddles talk about basketball. It's from the 314. What this gives me a great opportunity, good text right there, but also if you're in your mid-30s, 40s, 50s, go get a prostate check for real. You know, we lost, if you remember, Chadwick Boseman. Played Jackie Robinson, Black Panther, an incredible actor, and taken from us way too soon because of issues with cancer. So if you're out there right now in your 40s, 50s, haven't had one, for real though, go get checked. It can save your life and increase the amount of days you get to live here on this earth, and isn't that the best thing possible? So well, that person gets Bud Bash tickets, and they earned them. It was an opportunity to put out a little message for the folks.
That was nice.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Well, you want positivity. You want positivity
going into the weekend, James.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I wanted to give. How's everyone else feeling?
I'm not sure what's going on.
Oh, just, you know.
Just a little sentiment. Okay.
I guess, we have 2 minutes. I have a question.
Yeah.
Quick hitter. Has nothing to do with sports.
Fine.
When did the, kissing people on the cheek as a greeting kind of fall out of practice?
You are not only elitist from Ladue, now you're European.
Well, no, but in America, people would do it. Like you just
in Hollywood, in award shows.
No, like at dinner parties, you know,
at dinner parties at Ladue,
or you know, the surrounding areas. People would I saw in movies, TV shows, I see it in person. Like people would go up and be like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And a little it's not even like it's like cheek touching. Let me tell you
something. All I know is the St. Gabriel School picnic. That's all I know.
People didn't. But I feel like people someone. My wife's here.
They
hi.
And it just might be a little more aggressive behind a dumpster.
Yeah,
but as far as just like when I see somebody who was on like the 1989 city championship team, obviously I revere them. Right. But I don't kiss them.
No, I'm not like oh, my wife Diane's here. Oh, hi Diane, and you give them a little cheek to cheek.
Sounds like a cuck-sitch.
Cheek to cheek action.
You're cucking people. That's what you're doing. You're advocating for cucking right here on this show.
If I went up to
unbelievable. I'd like to distance myself. Where's Bradford?
If I greeted my buddy's girlfriend with a kiss on the cheek, he would kick my ass.
Right,
and rightfully so.
But yeah, you're asking how come that come back?
No, I'm not saying. I'm asking when did it fall out of practice?
Ask Ann Archer and Michael Douglas how that went with Glenn Close and their rabbit, for that matter.
I'm not going to let you tell me that this wasn't a thing. People did.
It was, and it still is in Europe and in Ladue. But I'm a meat and potatoes guy who goes to the St. Gabriel School picnic when it's in June.
So what? You and your buddies just you punch each other in the shoulder when
That's
you say
exactly
hello?
Right. What's going on? Hey, buddy.
Yeah, dead arm.
How about Raw last night?
Right.
That's what we talk about.
All right, I'm out.
Yeah, I know. I mean, what a take.
It wasn't a take. It was a
why
question.
People stop kissing each other when they greeted each other.
People used to do it.
Yeah, it like the veiled prophet ball they did.
I'm going to ask Randy. You know, he's going to be more open to this conversation.
All right, we got to go. Jackson's going to go focus on Ladue News for his weekend reading. For Jackson Burkett, I'm Tim McKernan. This has been Balloon Party, driven by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota, 101 ESPN, 101 ESPN YouTube channel.